In a quiet mountain village, surrounded by whispering pines and the cool breath of dawn, lived a young man named Marco. At just 24, Marco's mind was like a stormy sea, waves of worry crashing endlessly against the shores of his thoughts. The past haunted him with memories he couldn't change, and the future tormented him with fears he couldn't predict. Night after night, sleep escaped him, and even in silence, his mind shouted. He longed for peace, but didn't know where to find it. One morning, while wandering through the village square, Marco overheard two old men talking. They spoke of a wise man, once a great psychologist from the city, who had left everything behind. Now, he lived quietly in a faraway village, teaching those who came to him the art of inner peace. Something stirred inside Marco, a fragile spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this man could help him find the silence his mind so desperately craved. Without hesitation, Marco packed a small bag, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a heart full of questions. He began his journey at sunrise. Each step carried him further from his home and deeper into silence. The forest whispered, the wind sighed through the trees, and the mountains echoed his thoughts. Days passed, and still Marco walked, guided only by the faint hope that peace waited at the end of the road. Finally, after a long and weary climb, Marco reached a small village resting beneath the clouds. There, under the shade of a great tree, sat the old man, calm, silent, eyes filled with quiet wisdom. Marco bowed and said softly, "Master, my mind will not rest. I cannot sleep. I cannot smile. How do I find peace?" The old man listened, then, without a word, he rose and walked toward a small table by the cottage. He returned holding a simple glass filled to the very brim with water. The old man handed the glass to Marco and said, "Walk through the entire village and return here, but be careful. Do not spill even a single drop." Marco was puzzled, but he obeyed. As he stepped onto the dusty road, his eyes fixed on the trembling surface of the water. Every sound, every movement around him faded into silence. The laughter of children, the barking of dogs, the gossip of villagers, all disappeared. There was only the glass, the water, and the steady rhythm of his breath. When Marco finally returned, the old man looked at the glass and smiled. "Tell me, Marco," he said, "what did you see as you walked?" Marco shook his head. "Nothing, master. I saw nothing. I was too focused on the water." The old man nodded gently. "And how did you feel?" Marco paused. "Peaceful," he said, "for the first time in my life, peaceful." The old man's eyes twinkled. "You see, my son, the mind is like that glass of water. When you fix your attention fully upon what is in front of you, the noise of the world disappears." Peace is not found in the past, nor in the future. It exists only in this single living moment. Marco stood in silence. The wind carried the old man's words like a soft prayer through the valley. When Marco left the old man's cottage, the world seemed unchanged, but inside him, everything was different. The same path he had walked in worry now felt alive with calm. Each sound, the chirping of crickets, the rustle of leaves, felt like part of a gentle song. He realized that peace was never something to be found out there. It had been waiting within him all along, hidden beneath the noise of his restless thoughts. That night, back in his quiet cabin, Marco sat by the window. The moonlight rested gently on his hands. For the first time in many months, he felt still, utterly still. His mind, once filled with storms, was now a calm lake. Reflections danced softly on the surface, but the depths remained undisturbed. He closed his eyes and slept peacefully. Marco's story is not just his own. It is the story of all of us, those who lie awake at night, tangled in thoughts that never rest. We chase peace in achievements, possessions, relationships, yet peace remains distant because it was never outside to begin with. True peace begins when we stop running and simply be here. The next time your mind begins to wander through worries or regrets, imagine that glass of water. Hold your focus gently on the moment in front of you, the sound of your breath, the feel of your body, the warmth of the present. Notice how the noise fades and stillness quietly returns. This is mindfulness. This is peace. As the new day dawned over the mountains, Marco stood beneath the same sky he once looked upon in despair. But now he saw it differently. He understood that peace is not a place, nor a reward to be earned. It is a practice, a way of seeing, a way of living. The secret, he realized, was simple. When you live fully in the present moment, the mind rests, and peace finds you. And so, Marco smiled, not because his life was perfect, but because he had learned how to truly live. May you too find that same peace right where you are. Good night.